So Donald Trump won the election, and like many people, I've been taking the time to sit my ass the fuck down and process, to think about what the future holds, and to reflect on what potentially could have gone wrong. I've been leaning on my community and kind of just processing all these feelings that have been going around in loop. Frustration, rage, resentment, anxiety, disbelief, courage, hope, and then back again. And as I reflect to try to make sense on how all of this happened, a couple of answers come to mind. Clearly, this was a case of misogyny and racism because people didn't want a woman to lead, and much less a black woman. And that's very clear to me because if you had a candidate who was a district attorney, attorney general, senator, and vice president, the only candidate who was ever in all three branches of government, the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive, but somehow looked like this, they'd somehow be president of the United States. But there's more to the story. America has a huge education problem. 54% of American adults read below the equivalent of a 6th grade reading level. That becomes important when you have foreign actors like Iran, China, and Russia ramping up all this disinformation through all social media channels. What even makes it worse is when you have a powerful domestic conservative ecosystem amplifying all of Trump's lies. The top 5 podcasts in the United States, Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and the Hawk Girl. Not to mention the legacy mainstream media that has failed to hold Donald Trump accountable for years and has failed the American public. Because when Donald Trump says that he loves the poorly uneducated, he means it. White men without college degrees voted for him 68% of the time, and white women without college degrees voted for him 62% of the time. White women and white men with college degrees vote more for progressive agendas. And that pans out because if you look at the highly educated states, it resembles how they vote. Now do you see why they want to close the Department of Education? But none of this is new, and I can go on and on about how there's been an anti-intellectualism movement since the beginning of this country, and how historically conservatives have criticized the women's liberation, civil rights, and anti-war movements as not only personal grievances, but antithetical to American patriotism, an idea that is still prevalent today. And how what's really at play is that this has been turned into a culture war. The people who are intelligent, the people who know more about progressive ideologies versus the conservatives that want to continue to bring us back. This is a story as old as time. All Donald Trump has done is taken a mirror and reflected back to show America who it really is and who it has been forever. With that, I've identified what my work is going to look like moving forward. I'm going to continue to hold media outlets accountable for their failures to the American public. I will continue to try to bolster education to give people credible sources of information to combat the lies, and I will try to disrupt this conservative ecosystem that has promulgated and propagated bullshit to our communities. And thank you, Kamala Harris, for everything, but more importantly, for telling me that your resolve is strengthened, because it helped.